Okay, let's dive right in. Today, we're going to talk about the invisible forces that are constantly shaping what you see, what you feel, and maybe even what you think online. We're pulling back the curtain on something called the algorithmic echo chamber. You know that feeling, right? You put a piece of yourself out there, a thought, a picture, a moment, and you're met with, well, crickets. Nothing. And look, this isn't just about wanting likes. That digital silence can tap into a really deep human fear of being invisible, and it can make you feel genuinely isolated. I mean, social media was supposed to be all about connection, wasn't it? But for a lot of us, it's morphed into this relentless, never-ending cycle of comparison. Every time you scroll, it can feel like you're getting a new memo that you're not glowing enough, not hustling enough, not enough. It's just exhausting. So how did we even get here? How does a tool that's built for connections so often become a source of anxiety? Well, to really get it, we need to look under the hood. We need to understand the machine that's running in the background, the one that's building your feed.
Okay, algorithmic confounding sounds super technical, I know, but the idea is actually pretty simple. The system sees you pause on a certain kind of video, so it shows you another one just like it. You click on that, and it learns a little more. This creates what scientists call a feedback loop, where the platform isn't just predicting what you like, it's actively shaping what you like.
And here's the key. This isn't a straight line. It's a powerful, continuous loop. Your preferences tell the algorithm what to recommend. Those recommendations guide what you interact with, and those interactions just reinforce your original preferences. It's a system that's literally designed to keep learning and narrowing its focus on you, to keep you scrolling.
So what happens when you have millions and millions of us all stuck in our own little feedback loops? You get something called homogenization. Basically, our tastes, the content we see, and even our opinions start to look more and more alike. The algorithm pushes us towards what's already trending, which makes it incredibly hard for anything unique or different to break through all that noise.
But look, this isn't just some abstract, technical thing happening in the background. This whole system of loops and metrics has a very real, very human cost. And that cost is especially high for the creators who are trying to build their lives on these platforms.
Misha's story is a truly heartbreaking and, honestly, an alarming example of what that cost can look like. For her, that digital number, her follower count, became deeply, dangerously tied to her own sense of self-worth. It was so intense that her sister said Misha would even use screenshots of her follower stats as her phone wallpaper. After her death, Misha's sister shared this powerful plea, and it's just such a devastatingly clear reminder of how blurry the line has become between online metrics and real human connection. A follower count is not a measure of love, and it's definitely not a measure of your value.
And Misha's experience, while an extreme tragedy, is not an isolated feeling. You hear this from creators all the time. There's this immense pressure. The algorithm demands constant performance, pushing them to show up even when they feel like they're breaking down inside. It wants authenticity, sure, but only a specific, polished version that's packaged perfectly for going viral.
But just when you think the story is as simple as algorithms are bad, the research throws us a bit of a curveball. The reality of how these systems affect what we see and read is actually a lot more nuanced than you might think.
We've all heard about the filter bubble, right? The idea that algorithms just trap us, only showing us stuff we already believe. But what's fascinating is that major studies, including one from the Reuters Institute, have found that sometimes the opposite is true. They call it automated serendipity. It turns out search engines and social media can actually expose us to more diverse news sources than we'd probably find on our own.
So, what does this all mean? It means the algorithm isn't the only director in the theater of your feed. Turns out the biggest role is often played by what's called self-selection. That's our own choices, both conscious and unconscious. Who we decide to follow, what we click on, what we scroll right past. We are not just passive victims of some code. We're active participants.
And you know what? That realization is actually incredibly empowering. Because if we're active participants, that means we have agency. It means we can take back some control. So let's look at a practical toolkit for building a healthier, more intentional life online.
You can start with these 3 simple science-backed steps right now. First, just be aware of how the system works. Understand the game. Second, actively customize your feed. You decide what gets your attention. Turn off autoplay. Mute things. And third, and this is a big one, learn to recognize your own emotional triggers. know when it's time to just put the phone down and take a break. Now, if you want to take it a step further, you could explore a philosophy like digital minimalism. Author Cal Newport talks a lot about this. And it's not about quitting technology entirely. It's about being intentional. You figure out which tools actually add real value to your life, and you happily, consciously decide to miss out on the rest of the noise.
But honestly, the most powerful tool you have isn't in your phone's settings. It's inside you. It is the practice of self-compassion. As this quote from Buddha says, any kindness we show to the world is basically incomplete if we don't also offer it to ourselves, especially on those days when we feel like we're falling short.
This all reminds me of that old legend, you've probably heard it, about the two wolves fighting inside of us. The story goes that one wolf is our inner critic. It's fueled by anger, jealousy, judgment. And the other wolf is our capacity for kindness, for empathy, and for self-compassion.
And the legend poses a very simple but incredibly profound question about this internal battle that we all face.
The answer is a powerful reminder of our own agency. The fight isn't predetermined. The outcome depends entirely on which wolf we choose to nourish, day after day, scroll after scroll.
So, as we wrap this up, let's just go over the key takeaways. Yes, your feed is a feedback loop, but you are not powerless in it. Remember, your value as a person has absolutely nothing to do with likes or followers. Be the active curator of your own digital world. And above all else, practice feeding the wolf of self-compassion instead of comparison.
I'll leave you with this one final thought to carry with you. If the algorithm is really just a mirror reflecting our own behaviors and choices back at us, then maybe the most important question we can ask ourselves is this: what do we truly want it to show?